Good morning and good Halloween! Yes, that's right. Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome to a Friday news dump. We're going to tell you all the news you need to hear before the weekend so you can go out there, get in your costumes, have some time going to Halloween parties if that's what you celebrate. This is the first and only international game show before coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories just before we start. We just got caffeine in our bodies and we're learning to read live on stream. Let's spin that wheel for our segues and get into today's headlines. Today on Friday's News Dump. Akita governor asked SDF to help cull bears as attacks in Japan spike. And Zelensky says we'll definitely implement everything to defeat Russia.
And King Charlie takes away his brother's titles. We have an official statement from Buckingham Palace. And we're going to update the Hurricane Melissa and its hopefully final damage assessments.
Austrian skull. 60 years after a tourist stole it from a cathedral, he sent it back. And the government... Oh, wait. Is that it? I thought I had a second story there. Oh, here it is. Dutch centrist party D66 wins election after close race with far-right Wilders.
And Louisiana State University fires the athletic director after Louisiana governor's comments. And in a related story, we're going to talk about another fired coach in the middle of a lucrative contract. James Franklin was let go recently by Penn State.
In my culture news, the government presents its latest report to destroy the Franciscus Franco Foundation. It humiliates the dignity of the victims.
I hear he's still dead. That's what I'm hearing. And speaking of dead, it's Halloween, everybody. So happy Halloween, all you Halloweeners out there. It is October 31st, 2025 on Before Coffee.
I'm doing my best to look like some sort of Halloween creature. I don't know what it is, but I'm dressed as one. And you're just yourself. I think you should have done that whole thing in your John Cleese accent. That would have been funny.
I could be Santa Claus. I just need a red coat. Ho, ho, ho.
Since it's Halloween, you know what that means? It's Christmas now. That's the rules, right? Halloween, and then instantly the next day
remember
Christmas.
The guy at the end of the block, they used to have
with the snake?
Giant snake.
Yeah,
and he dressed up as Santa Claus. He was Santa Claus for Halloween every year. Remember that? And he was Santa Claus. They're still there, by the way, except they're jackasses. But no, they got a Trump flag. Like, who does that? Are you trying to advertise? You actually want people to physically throw up around you, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they were cool back then. She kind of looks like Hillary Clinton, which is really funny. She like the spitting image. I'm gonna call her.
Well, there's your neighbor gossip for the neighborhood there. We're gonna roll our wheel for our first segue.
They're the head of the homeowner association too, and they got that big corner lot, right, with a big flagpole. American flag with a Trump flag. You're like, how in the world? Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to put the Trump flag over the American flag? What kind of treason is that? Right? There's a ranking of flags.
Associate. I have to stop your tangents because I know you'll keep talking. So you're too awake now. You're just gonna keep going.
You are correct. You
need to associate these stories with something. Our first story is about an update on the bear attacks that are happening in Japan. I mean, it's Halloween and that's pretty scary. Getting attacked by a bear. The governor of the Akita Prefecture on Japan Today, a mountainous northern region, has called for the military's help to protect residents from an unprecedented wave of bear attacks. Exhaustion on the ground is reaching its limit, Governor Kenta Suzuki said in an Instagram post. Sunday, which was, the 28th? the 26th of October. He said he planned to visit the defense ministry in person as soon as Tuesday. So that would have been the 28th. Or maybe this Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when this article's from. He's planning to visit the defense ministry in person and ask for help with the bear cull. A defense ministry spokesperson said she was unaware of any planned visits. Suzuki's plea came after a bear attack in Akita last Friday, in which one person was killed and 3 others injured, amid a record number of attacks across the country this year, on the October 24th. I really do wish articles would give dates, because I don't know when they're talking about. That's why I provide dates, so we know where we are. Because who knows when somebody will see this video 3 years from now and be confused when Friday was.
Right. The reporters think time stopped when that article was published.
Yeah.
Time will stop now.
Nobody's going to read this except for the day it comes out. Local authorities in Akita say 54 people have been killed or injured this year, up from 11. That's a huge spike. The bears are taking back Japan. While sightings have increased around 6-fold to more than 8,000 incidents of seeing bears. Rising bear numbers in depopulation rural areas are increasingly bringing people into contact with bears. Many encounters have occurred in towns and villages where the animals forage for food, sometimes entering homes, and on at least 2 occasions, supermarkets, which we talked about that I think 2 weeks ago. A bear went into a 7-Eleven, attacked some guy, destroyed a bunch of food, and then left. Japan's aging population also means it has too few qualified hunters to track down bears, which appears less fearful of humans than in the past. Japanese black bears, common across most of the country, can weigh up to 140 kilograms. Brown bears on the northern island of Hokkaido can weigh as much as 400 kilograms. Yeah, try fighting that. That's why you don't fight brown bears. You fight black bears, you don't fight brown bears, you run away from brown bears, okay? You play dead. You go...
Why are we fighting bears?
No, it's a real thing. Black bears are less aggressive, so you can scare them away, is what I mean. Right? If you stand your ground and go, hey, watch out, the bear will be like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here. But a brown bear does not care. Brown bear was like, I can eat you.
Really terrifying. The most terrifying of all is the Care Bears. They are really vicious. They don't get their way. They really care. They really do.
Akita has begun distributing bear repellent spray along school routes to ensure children's safety, Suzuki said in his post. There's your update on the bear attacks in Japan. Very scary, very dangerous, and hopefully all those people in the rural areas can keep safe. Does that remind you of anything? I guess the Care Bears, you already give me your second.
Yeah, that was kind of like what, that's what I was going to do. Yeah, that's it right there, man. You got to give me a rim shot or something. I don't know.
Well, I was still in the middle of my story. You can't give me the segue in the middle. That's not a segue.
Okay, well, let's come up with another one. I associate bears, again, with a healthy environment, right? I think that's what you're going to say, right? Yeah. They don't tend to overpopulate an area, do they? I don't think so. They self-regulate.
There goes your rim. There's your rim. My next story.
We're humans. All right. So there you go. Thank you.
I have another one. So
you have another one.
This one is about an update on the Ukraine war. The war in Ukraine, I should say. The war against Ukraine. This is on the Kyiv Post. The armed forces of Ukraine are preparing a series of long-range strikes against priority targets inside the Russian Federation, President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a post on his official Telegram channel. Telegram, not Telegram, they did a typo. In a brief statement, Zelensky said he and the heads of Security Service, Ukraine, SBU, and the Foreign Intelligence Service, SZRU, have identified priority targets for long-range strikes in the near term, and vowed that the plans would soon be carried out. We will definitely implement everything, Zelensky said. The announcement is the most recent public confirmation from Kyiv of plans to expand the use of long-reach munitions as part of a broader campaign to hit Russian military and logistical infrastructure beyond Ukraine's borders. Ukraine has already shown a growing capability to conduct long-range attacks. Earlier, last Friday, Ukraine's intelligence services, last Friday, the 24th of October, say they destroyed a launch system from 3 Oreshnik ballistic missiles ready for launch from the Kapustin Yar range in Russia's Astrakhan zone. basically stopped 3 missiles from being launched at them. According to SBU head Vasil Malyuk, the operation took place on their territory at Kapusin Yar, carried out by combined forces of Ukraine's military intelligence HUR, the SBU, and the SCRU. It was a very successful mission. The destruction was 100%, Malyuk said. This is something we have never made public before. It happened before the name Orsnik was widely used. So they've done it before, but this is the first time they've gotten 3. Ukraine's intelligence estimates that Russia has fired 1 Orsnik missile and destroyed a second, with at least 1 still in arsenal. The head of the SCRU, Oleh Ivansenko, noted, "There is a launch system. We believe that this year up to 3 were produced, and up to 6 are planned annually. So they need to destroy them before they can launch any missiles." Zelensky warned that Russia may deploy an Orsnik to Belarus, putting parts of Europe within its reach. As in, might be next Poland. We understand the approximate range is 5,500 kilometers, and there is a dead zone of 700 kilometers. This means that Europeans, especially those in Eastern Europe, should pay attention to this, and everyone else too must pay attention to these risks, he said. So there's your also spooky warning from Zelensky. The Orsnik missiles might be hidden. Might be, like people keep saying, oh, they're not going to attack NATO countries, but you just need to attack them all at once, when they're not ready. That's why you have to be ready, even if the attack never comes.
Always keep your eye on Putin. And that's the one thing Sarah Palin was right about, because she was always saying, "Oh, I see you there, Putin. I see you over there. I can see Russia from my house," is one of those things that she said.
Yeah, I remember her saying that.
You're close to the Bering Strait way up there in Alaska. I get it. But you don't literally see Russia from your house. Maybe she thought it was a flat earth, too. Anyway, that's what she was right about. She was a blithering idiot. And I think blithering pretty much described her. The type of idiot she was. Just basically say anything, do anything for whatever. Oh, yeah. But, again, I guess she was promoted because of her looks and not much else.
No, that's what people say. But I guess that's your associate.
That's my association. Man, we should have listened to Sarah Palin. That's my association. Words I thought I'd never say in my life. We should listen to Sarah Palin.
She was right about Russia. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, right? To think about there was a time where we're threatening Russia and, saying, hey, they're very important that we make sure they're scared of us. And now we're like, hey, they're our best friends.
Yeah, and Obama was they're disarmed. You were wrong, Barack. You got wrong. Again, history, I can argue in the time when things are, whether things are going to go this way or that way, but history is going to prove you right or wrong either way. So let's do another story. We're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about the defrocking of a prince, or whatever the hell they call it.
Defrocking.
What'd you spend?
Detitling. He's been detitled. And I hope this reminds me of not reminds me of a song. I can almost land on that. An accurate metaphor or simile. Tell us about this defrocking now.
This is an official statement from the Buckingham Palace. BBC.com, Lauren Turner. I mean, Lauren Turner can claim writing this all you want, but she didn't. Buckingham Palace has announced that Prince Andrew is to lose his prince title and will be leaving his Royal Lodge home at Windsor. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Windsor was
named after
actually
his uncle, or not his uncle, his stepdad, or not his grandfather?
Yeah,
grandfather.
They stole Windsor from a distant cousin. Their actual surname is Hanover, and they changed it after World War I. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, as he's now to be known, gave up his other royal titles earlier this month, including Duke of York. Oh, can I be Duke of York? I want it. I want to be Duke of York. Pick me. Come on. Excuse me, sorry. Including the Duke of York, more than questions and allegations about his private life. That's to put it mildly. The palace said the former prince has agreed to leave Royal Lodge as his links to pedophile. She spelled pedophile, Paedophile, Phile. Is that a British spelling for that? Did the British got to be special with that word? Or are we being special with that word? Or she maybe just can't spell? Anyway, as his links to financier Jeffrey Epstein, who is a alleged pedophile, continue to cause controversy, the decision has made due to serious lapses in Andrew's judgment. That's what they call it. That's what they call getting it on with a teenager. A lapse in judgment. It is understood that he continues to deny the accusations against him. It is also understood that he did not object to the king's decision to remove his titles. Yeah, can't spend a title. Why, I'm the Duke of York. Yeah, we'll duke this. Anyway, His Majesty has initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles, and honors of Prince Andrew. Is Prince Andrew no more? Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. His lease in the Royal Lodge has to date provided him with legal protection to continue in residence. Formal notice has now been served to surrender the lease, and he will move to alternative private accommodation. These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. Their Majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. There's your official statement. And let's have a metaphor for rapey old Andrew. Let's have it.
Well, of course, we've got... what's a metaphor? This is what you kind of said, We're talking about, the cat being out of the bag for paying players. This is the cat being out of the bag of, hey, everyone knows that you did shit. And even if it's like, oh, you haven't found me in the court of law or whatever, right?
Yep, and in this case, Prince Andrew is both the cat and the bag. So he pulled off a double.
Exactly, so...
He's a bag. He's a definite bag. There you go. Okay, I gotta applaud your metaphor.
He's a definite bag. All right, your next story.
He's a total bag. Yeah, he's a total bag. So from total bags to hurricanes. I don't know if that's a good segue, but hey, you already did my segue. So we got a segue from your segue. CBSNews.com has a story, the shortest one I could find. Hurricane Melissa hurrying away from Bermuda. Maps show its forecast path. Carrie Breen is this article. Hurricane Melissa brought hurricane force gusts to Bermuda overnight as it sped towards the British territory. The Miami-based U.S. National Hurricane said then raced past it. The storm brought heavy rains and gusty winds to the Bahamas Thursday after hitting eastern Cuba and Jamaica earlier in the week. Melissa is one of the strongest hurricanes ever recorded. That's why we're still talking about it. Like, holy crap. These winds are ridiculous. Ever recorded in Atlantic Basin when it reached Jamaica Tuesday afternoon as Category 5 storm. The 13th named storm of the Atlantic season didn't have any direct impact on the United States. Not really. I think they had some big waves. The storm's wind speeds dropped after its landfalls over Jamaica and Cuba to 100 miles per hour, dropped to 100 miles per hour. That's still scary damn winds. And its winds had weakened further to 90 miles an hour when the Hurricane Center issued its 2 a.m. ETD advisory Friday. That made Melissa Category 1, the lowest of the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. Melissa still had 90 mile an hour winds over 3 hours later. By that time, the NHC said Melissa's score was about 255 miles north of Bermuda and was hurrying northeast at 41 miles per hour through the Atlantic's cooler waters. On the forecast track, the Hurricane Center, the center of Melissa is expected to pass to the south of the Avalon Peninsula of Newfoundland and passes tropical cyclone tonight. Melissa is expected to become a strong post-tropical cyclone later today with gradual weakening forecast over the weekend. Hurricane force winds were extending upwards to 80 miles from Melissa's center. Tropical storm force winds were extending to upwards of 265 miles, according to the National Hurricane Center, which also said gusty winds never over Bermuda will gradually subside this morning. The Hurricane Center didn't have any significant rainfall in the latest forecast for Bermuda, but the center did say swells generated by Melissa will continue to affect portions of Hispaniola, which is the island shared by the DR and Haiti, Cuba, Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, and Bermuda during the next couple of days. These swells are expected to reach the coasts of northeastern United States and Atlantic Canada today and persist into the weekend and are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Yeah, stay out of the water. Above average Atlantic Ocean temperatures made worse by climate change helped Melissa rapidly intensify into a major hurricane, according to climate scientists. That part of the Atlantic is extremely warm right now, about 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 2 to 3 degrees Celsius above normal. Holy crap! 2 to 3 degrees Celsius above normal. I was thinking 2 degrees Fahrenheit, which I think is a little bit more mild. Yeah, I think it is, because the Celsius range is only 0 to 100 from freezing to boiling, and Fahrenheit is like 32 to 220, so that's a bigger range. So I think Celsius, 2 to 3 Celsius, is a hell of a lot more severe. Ashkay Dioras, a meteorologist at the University of Reading in the UK, told the Associated Press, it's not just the surface. The deeper layers of ocean are also usually warm, providing a vast reservoir of energy to storm. A nonprofit group of scientists called the Climate Central, monitoring the effects of climate change, suggested that climate change increased Melissa's wind speed by 10 miles per hour. Climate change is fundamentally changing our weather. It does not mean that every single tropical cyclone is going to go through rapid or super rapid intensification. However, in our warmer world, it will continue to increase the likelihood of storms going through rapid and super rapid intensifications. Of course, the people ignoring the climate change are the people that have just been told bullshit by the oil companies and they believe it. Even though for some damn reason, and I can't explain it, the price of oil has gone down, the price of gas has not. Amazing how that happens. And the world gets warmer as we burn more fossil fuels. Crazy, right? As they run to the bank and cry, oh, climate change is a fraud. There's your story. Let's have us a metaphor. Let's just gave you one.
You kind of did. You're kind of stealing all my wins here.
Running to the bank's a metaphor. Okay.
Banks are a lot like that witch in the village. Yeah. Sometimes they help you. You know, they help you. They give you some herbs from some pains, and sometimes they put curses on you and for generations, right? Hey, I used to have money, and then the banks took it all. And now we're poor. Like a witch's
hurricanes
curse.
To bank.
There you go.
But for hurricanes to bank. Okay. I mean, we were talking about hurricanes. But,
yeah.
You're talking about me running to the bank, and you just turned it into another metaphor.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've just been. What do you want me to do when you tell me a metaphor?
You took my non sequitur and made a metaphor out of it. Right on.
You're welcome. Right. I'm doubling up. Let's go. That's all your story, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Well, hurricane's done.
That's all. About I
will update. The updates were like 85 pages long, so I wasn't going to wade through all of them to edit out the information I need. Let's just say that death tolls reached 50, which is kind of amazing for a Category 5 that went over several small, poor places. 50 is kind of low. I mean, every life requires somebody, but shoot, I mean, 50. I was thinking in the 1500s myself, but maybe they haven't found a lot of bodies. But I don't even think there's anybody missing for that many missing. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's roll our next segue, and for my next stories, more updates. Really, just more updates for the week and for the weekend. So you. Get your pen and paper out.
Right,
it's limerick time.
Oh my!
This next
one
story
or two
is about the Dutch election. They haven't finished counting, but they basically decided that a party has gotten the most votes possible to become a majority, and that is the D66. Now, let me look that up for you real quick because I don't remember. There's 300 parties in the Netherlands, so I don't remember all of them. Democratic 66 is a socially liberal and progressive political party in the Netherlands, which is positioned on the center to center-left of the political spectrum. So, in a way, yet again, the left has defeated the right. If you want to be, if you want to be on a side, They are mostly center, though, not so much left. They kind of go in between, right? Sometimes they have some right policy, sometimes they have some left policy. They're definitely center, okay? We've got that one. They are members of the Liberal International and the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats for Europe. And they're currently run by Rob Jetton, who is going to be possibly the Prime Minister sometime next year. This is from Bart Mayer on The Independent. The centrist D66 party won Wednesday's Dutch general election, which was the 29th of October. News agency ANP reported today, I think that's why they keep saying Friday, because they mean today, the 31st of October, setting its 38-year-old leader, Rob Jetton, on a course to become the Netherlands' youngest prime minister. Yay! We love young people. 38. He's actually more my generation, actually. Maybe Gen X. With almost... Oh! Okay, I thought my camera froze. With almost all votes counted, D66 lead is now unassailable. As in, there's no... Like, if anybody got any more votes, it wouldn't change anything. Placing it ahead of the far-right Freedom Party, PVV, led by Geert Wilders, the Trump of the Netherlands, according to ANP, which compiles results from all municipalities. D66 is expected to lead the initial round of talks to form a coalition government, which should be easy since they're already in an alliance with leftist parties. They probably will just team up with all the leftist parties, which is definitely a problem PVV was going to have, the Freedom Party, because nobody wants to work with them. A process typically spanning months in order to create a coalition. That's why they do the election in October. Securing around 18% of the vote, the party will require at least 3 coalition partners to achieve a simple majority in the 150-seat lower house of parliament. Mr. Jetton is now poised to become the Netherlands' youngest and first openly gay prime minister. The previous ones were totally closeted gay. I'm going to keep telling that joke until people tell me to shut up. His party, the pro-EU and liberal D66, tripled its seat count with a upbeat campaign and a surge in advertising spending. The shift was underpinned by polished messaging, enabled D66 to expand its focus beyond traditional social liberal themes like climate change and education. Yeah, they probably focused on, hey, we'll get you a house. Hey, we'll fix those potholes. I don't know, because like the government of the last 2 years has done shit for the Dutch people as far as I'm concerned. They just keep yelling about immigrants. As soon as we get rid of the immigrants, all these problems will be fixed. No, that's not how that works. That's not how it works. You still need to run the government while doing that. But he didn't do that, right? He only wanted to get rid of immigrants, and then that would have fixed all the problems, I guess. Mr. Jetton strategically engaged with the divisive issues such as immigration and the housing crisis, which is the big one, successfully winning over some voters who had previously leaned towards right-wing parties. Meanwhile, Wilders lost a large part of the support that had propelled him to a shock victory at the previous poll in 23 because he didn't do shit, and also he rage quit the government, like what, in June or something, in July? He was like, you guys aren't working with me, so I'm pulling out. Okay, bye dude, run a minority government without you. Still, the election turned into a nail-biter, as preliminary results indicated a narrow victory for D66, while the PVV briefly pulled ahead towards the end of the count. Although all mainstream parties had already ruled out working with him, Wilders had said that he would demand to have a first crack at forming a coalition if his party was confirmed to have the most votes. Confirmation of the result will come officially over after the weekend on Monday, when mail ballots cast by Dutch residents living abroad are counted. So we'll have probably more updates on this, but I think everyone's pretty, unless the vote is stolen through hacking or something, right? It was stolen! Let's not talk about that. On the 3rd of November, we'll have like the official counting, but it's looking like, yeah, like I said, it's assailable. There's no way, if anybody got all the rest of the votes left, there still wouldn't be a different, like the results would not change. So.
Yes! Progress, we hope, right?
We love Europe suddenly going far right and then instantly going left the next time.
Yeah,
I say Europe.
This is the D66, the D66 party, right? Is this what they... Hey, okay, so here we go. My limerick. One Wednesday down Netherlands way, the Dutch held an Another election day, D66 can brag about seats they hold in the Hague. Now everyone's problems will instantly go away.
Woohoo!
Because that's what happens. This happens in this country. We declare ourselves the winner of election, and like with the Joe Biden regime, instead of arresting all the criminals and putting them in jail, just let them out. Let's do a slow walk this prosecution for years and 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 years, and then there's no prosecution. There's no prosecution because we're not going to do anything about all of this crap that just happened. That's a real most disappointing process of electing people that you want when they let you down. And that's why they lose.
Story
they
now,
go,
before you keep going on your tirade for 5 minutes. Yeah, we got it.
All right. Winning elections there's more than winning elections, folks.
Something spooky. We love a skull story. For some reason, people out there, humans out there, are having skulls. And this skull has been returned to its cathedral after 60 years of being stolen by a tourist. Because there's some weird tourist out there was like, I want to steal this Austrian skull and be like, hey, look what I got from Austria. Some poor guy who just was, in the afterlife or whatever. This is from Paul Kirby. I hope he got cursed by a witch. This is Paul Kirby on BBC. It's not something you expect, since Franz Zethetner, who opened a parcel addressed to Vienna's St. Stephen's Cathedral to discover a skull inside. The cathedral's archivist admits to being taken aback by the package, but alongside the skull was a letter of explanation. A man in northern Germany said he had stolen the skull as a young tourist about 60 years before, and now wanted to hand it back. He had taken it while on a guided tour of the catacombs beneath St. Stephen's, which contains the remains of about 11,000 people buried during the 18th century. That's the 1700s people. In his letter, sorry, no, that's not right. The 1900s. 21st century. Yeah, you always go back. Sorry. 1700s. I was correct the first time. In his letter, the tourist with the guilty conscience described how he wanted to make a peace with himself as he came towards the end of his life. After his clarification on the matter, it was touching that someone would wish to make amends for an act of youthful exuberance, Franz Zethetner told the BBC. Also, that he had carefully preserved the skull over the years. Even if it was not according to the rules, instead of carelessly getting rid of it. Yeah, let me just throw this in a junkyard somewhere. It's unclear whose skull the tourist had taken home with him all those years ago, and it's now been reinterred into the catacombs. Although many of the remains date back to a 40-year period in the 18th century, members of the high-ranking Viennese families were also buried beneath the cathedral earlier. Yeah, this guy was just my ancient grandfather. Yeah, that's who I stole.
So he was from Australia?
I would say check the dental records, but they didn't have dental records back then.
So the skull was from Australia?
Austria.
Okay, I got you then. I thought you said Australia. Oh, okay. That changes
yeah, they always
everything.
get confused with. Sadly, they do all Austrian skull. Yeah, it's honestly really a short story. There's nothing else to say about it. But I will give you time to continue. I mean, there's a picture they provided here, and it's a skull inside some, packing peanuts. So they even put it in some, proper packaging. It wasn't just, in a box, jiggling around,
What do you call a person from Austria? An Austrian?
Famous Viennese family. Might be. Viennese.
Really hard to come up with a limerick on such a short story. I'm used to you going on for another 5 minutes.
I wish I could talk about the skull for 5 minutes, but there's nothing else to say. I could look up stuff about the cathedral. Let's see. St. Stephen's Cathedral, which was... Oh, right. My computer's internet is broken, so I can't use it. I got my one computer is disconnected from the internet for some reason. And if I try to fix it, my computer will black screen.
I gave him the name Ali. Ali the Austrian once had a brain. Centuries ago, out on the Austrian plain, which I don't think there is anything such a thing, but I thought you said Australia, so I'll make the excuse for that. I heard Australia, but this is no man from Nantucket. The location of his brain bucket, some weird things are hard to explain. So I tried to work in the man from Nantucket.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't.
Because the original. Yeah,
you just can't explain it.
That's right. I tried. You gave me 3 more minutes. Maybe 2.5, 3 minutes. I've been able to finish that one.
I'll tell the BBC next time to talk about skulls for 5 minutes.
In my defense, I heard Australia, and I was finished. I had to go, crap. Outback. There's the outback of Austria.
Australia. They sound, yeah. If you slur it together, it sounds the same.
No kangaroos there either. Damn it. Anyway, everything rhymes with kangaroo.
There are no kangaroos in Austria.
Unfortunately, there's no kangaroos. There once was a man from Nantucket, but there's no kangaroos. Anyway.
Right, let's roll our segue for your stories about
brain
sports
bucket
people getting into trouble. I guess.
All right, so we're going to talk about coaches getting fired. These universities keep offering these huge contracts to these coaches, and the coaches go, huh? Hey, hold on a second. I got to leave this university I just said was the greatest in the world. I found a better one. Anyway, BleacherReport.com, Paul Kasabian has this, I guess, editorializer. So, again, he's going to be probably editorializing because these guys always can't leave their opinions at the door, kind of like me, but I'm not pretending to be a professional writer, am I? LSU Athletics and Athletic Director Scott Woodward have agreed to part ways. Effective Media Department announced Thursday. Effective Executive Deputy Athletic Director Verge Asbury. His name is Asbury. Osbury, okay. Osbury will serve as interim director of athletics moving forward. We thank Scott for the last 6 years of service. Scott Allard, supervisor's chair, said in a statement he had a lot of success at LSU. We wish him nothing but the best in the future. Our focus now is on moving the athletic department forward and best positioning LSU to achieve its full potential. Woodward addressed the news in his own statement Thursday. The move comes after Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports reported LSU and Woodward were finalizing an exit agreement. Woodward's departure comes just one day after Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry issued a scathing remarks on Woodward in the aftermath of LSU firing head coach Brian Kelly and issuing a $54 million buyout. Good work if you can get it. Suck at your job, get rewarded with $54 million. Sounds like a CEO gig, right? Same little conniving little. And again, this guy's in charge of young men's lives almost completely. And of course, Brian Kelly. I don't know if we want to rewind on Brian Kelly's career for a minute, but he was the coach at Notre Dame when the guy, and this hits close to home because my daughter is a video person. The guy filming practices was on a tower, filming practice for Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Windstorm came along. The kid was killed when the tower blew over. And the football coach had no culpability in that, putting a kid up there. A kid, like, you know what I'm saying? 19-year-old, audio video student at Notre Dame. Again, there was nothing done to this coach because of that. He killed this kid. He legitimately killed him. Nobody else told him to go up there with no safety. Oh, anyway, back to this guy who's getting $54 million for being a bad coach. Landry told reporters that the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee. They're going to find us a coach. We need a committee to find us a coach. No, you're just going to go recycle another coach from another university that's had success, and hopefully he brings all his players with him. That's what happens now in college. LSU Board of Supervisor Chair Scott Ballard was asked about those remarks. He said he hadn't heard those remarks. What was the scathing remarks? I'm missing them. Anyway, I got the scathing remarks reported somewhere else. LSU Board of Supervisors Scott Ballard was asked about these remarks. He said he hadn't heard those comments, but then he said his group would get the job done. Woodward was hired as LSU's athletic director in 2019. He's hired some coaches who have led the Tigers to national championships, including Kim Mulkey, women's basketball, who's pissed right now, actually. Jay Johnson, baseball. Jay Clark, women's gymnastics. In short, it's hard to ignore Woodward's hires have led to great success throughout the athletics program. However, Woodward also hired Kelly, who showed some promise early after a solid 10-win season in 22, followed by a 6-win season earlier the year before. They improved. However, Kelly's teams went wrong direction as tenure went on. As the year began with a 5-3 record, capped by an ugly 49-25 loss to number 3 Texas A&M. Of course, again, we're going to reiterate this college football coach is the highest paid employee of the state of Louisiana. And they just gave him $54 million to leave. Football is also king at LSU, and it's clear Governor Landry isn't pleased with the team's recent results for the massive buyout. Apparently, Governor Landry has an issue with Woodward, per Dellinger. He's got it out for him, a leading Louisiana political figure with knowledge and relationship. The governor picks fights, and he never forgets a slight. The governor also apparently an issue with Woodward not rehiring ex-men's basketball coach Will Aid. Now Woodward's time at LSU is coming to an end after the governor's public remarks. There's your story. Let's have a
Man,
situation.
It must really suck to be a coach.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're always complaining if their jobs are so hard. It's not like they are responsible for if a team wins or loses, even though it's a team sport.
Yep. The number one thing that they say...
It's obviously the coach, not the players, right?
Right. Yeah, it's the number one thing in team sports. They always say you can't fire the players, right? You fire the players on the team, so you got to fire the coach. You can fire one player, maybe. That's about it. But again, the coach is not getting them ready. It's his fault. Again, $54 million. This guy's out on his ass, and he'll get another job, right? He'll get another job because he can sit out and be a TV analyst. It's another sweet gig. You don't even have to show up for your job. You just show up on Sunday and sit in front of a camera and spout your nonsense about football because everybody listens to you because you're a coach. It doesn't matter if you know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, totally.
And speaking of coaches... Oh, and I got to give you applause here. Hold on a second. I shirking my responsibilities. I'm a professional shirker. There's one class I got A's in high school.
Shirking your responsibilities.
All right. Shirking. And we're going to talk about another fired coach in the middle of his contract. Yeah. Huge contract, by the way. This is a coach with a whole shitload of success at the university he was at, which is really shocking. CBSSports.com, did Penn State jump the gun in firing James Franklin? And then it says Matt Rule's extension further complicates the coach search. Yeah, Penn State, you fired a coach without anybody to replace him. So I think they're going to be sitting here maybe without a coach that they wanted. Penn State cast the first major stone of college football season when it fired James Franklin only 6 weeks into a highly anticipated campaign. The Nittany Lions, which is one of those weird names I never understood, decided that Franklin reached his ceiling with the program and it was time to look for a new voice. Less than halfway through the season, after 2 other Big Ten coaches signed extensions to rebuff Penn State's interest, the emotional decision to fire mid-season suddenly looks like a gaffe. Indiana coach Kurt Cignetti, a Pennsylvania native, quickly signed a contract extension will keep him in Bloomington for the rest of his career. That's really interesting. Indiana's like, we want this guy forever until we don't. On Thursday, projected top candidate Matt Rule did the same at Nebraska, keeping him in Lincoln through 2032. Again, it's going to be the same deal with these guys when they start losing. You watch. Yeah, they give them a shitload of money. And then when they start losing, it's like, wow. Can we buy this guy out? And suddenly, for a program that hoped to impose its will in the coaching market, the top candidates are gone. There are potential options. Well, not really. Brian Kelly's out there now. Yeah. I'm entertaining myself. There are potential options for the way up, but few that would move the needle nationally. It's in the shadow of LSU and Florida, swinging for sitting Big Ten and SEC coaches, Penn State seems to have already and very publicly struck out. Florida also... probably swinging for they fired their coach, but Florida hasn't been winning much lately. Granted, moving on from Franklin is a defensible decision on its own. He was in the midst of a 12 season that holds a 2-21 record against AP top 6 opponents. Again, if that's his record and you knew that going in, why'd you give him a big contract? The second worst mark in FBS history among coaches with 20 matchups. So he beats bad teams. That was a problem with the Wisconsin Badgers, too. They could beat bad teams. Good teams showed up. Oh, my, somebody's putting up resistance. I can't. That guy pushed me. Oh, he's mean. That was Wisconsin against a good team. Penn State was tired of breaking through. Was tired of never breaking through, and it's worth seeing if someone else can turn the tide. And furthermore, the nearly $50 million buyout actually isn't as
Only
onerous
50.
as it sounds. Okay. Oh, the poor guy, man. Shit. I think I seen him out on the street corner with the tin cup earlier today. The contract is believed to be subject to offset language, which means that Penn State could ultimately pay as much smaller amount if he takes another job. Well, why would you take another job if you're getting paid to stay home? That's a good question. The finances could become negligible. I don't think so. That job would have to be a sweet-ass job for me to give up $50 million to stay at home. But after getting publicly turned down by the two most obvious candidates on the board, the risk is greater than just replacing a coach. Again, what about the players? The players who went there because of James Franklin. They're leaving. And if James Franklin goes somewhere else, if he gets to take his players, that team is instantly good. Anywho, by making a change nearly 3 months before the coaching carousel got into motion, it opened the door for expectations to rising through the roof. Franklin had a record 145 at Penn State, including 2016 Big Ten title. He won 34 games in his final 3 full seasons with 2 AP top 10 finishes. Not good enough. We must run the national championship every year. Arr. Man, these people are impatient. There are a few coaches on the market that are clearly positioned to replicate that. Frankly, Florida and LSU are finding themselves somewhat at the same position, especially if Lane Kiffin decides to stay at Ole Miss. That Lane Kiffin's probably a hot property because he's still kind of young. Letting Franklin finish out the season would have both stabilized the roster and continue recruiting momentum. Since his firing, at least 10 of the class of 26 recruits have decommitted. So the 10 guys who were coming in from high school are like, yeah, I was recruited by that guy, not whoever the hell you're replacing him with. No thanks. Plus, this school is offering me more money. At the end of the year, Penn State could have still made a measured decision to hire Franklin. And for with the writing on the wall, the university could have encouraged Franklin to search for other opportunities. Virginia Tech, Arkansas, Florida would have happily engaged and still might. While the dynamics of college basketball are different, think back to the John Calipari situation in Kentucky. The program is frustrated with him, and both sides are ready to move on. Arkansas got to sell poaching one of the greatest coaches of the 21st century. Kentucky got to move on, but went through a normal coaching cycle instead of a prolonged one. After striking out on their top choices, Mark Pope was reasonable, if not spectacular addition. And one year he made the Sweet 16. Everyone won in a way that feels more complicated for Penn State now. But it seemed like a total non sequitur. But anyway, football and basketball, absolutely different sports. You can change your entire program with one player in college.
Yeah.
Player. David Robinson took Navy to the Final Four. Navy, okay? Let's not compare college basketball and college football. The program tried to send a message by firing Franklin midseason, setting up expectation. Next coach would expect to compete for championships, but after Roland Signetti decided to stay put, that extra runway could prove a liability for fan base, growing impatient for results. There's a story on another coach being fired and the university paying him, not the coach. Like I said, good work if you can get it. Again, I'm going to go ahead and guess he's the highest paid player in Pennsylvania government also.
I mean,
And
as we all know,
boosters
right?
make-
Why is it doing that? Stop doing that. Okay, thank you. As we all know,
50 million a quit.
who's the biggest expert in sports and how the team should be run? The fans. They know everything.
That's right.
They know that, hey, something needs to be punished for us losing. So they need to answer. I know how to run the team. They should hire me.
And don't forget the super fans.
Yeah.
The super fans. The boosters. The boosters. They got cash money. They really know what the hell's best for the team. Right? Like the quarterback for Texas Longhorns is named Arch Manning. He's like Peyton Manning and Eli Manning's nephew. He's like the brother that didn't make it in the NFL.
Yeah.
That kid's making millions playing college football, and he sucks because his name is Manning. I'm just saying, college football.
What the hell, man? Boo!
College football's got to go down, down before it goes up again. Because right now, I don't know what the hell's going on. You have a 2-game losing streak. Here's $50 million. Go away. Okay, here. Thanks. Bye. Have a nice day. I'll be on Bermuda. Well, not Bermuda this time of the year, but you know what I mean. Yeah, story.
Let's roll our segue for my culture news. And it is... reminds me of a song.
Whoa, that's easy enough.
This culture news is going to be a little longer. It's too bad you didn't roll limerick on this one, huh? Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about Francisco Franco. For some reason, in Spain, there's a foundation for him, and it's still going strong. The government is working its best in order to get rid of this continued fascist culture in Spain. This is on El País by Julio Núñez. The Ministry of Culture has taken the first step towards dissolving the Francisco Franco Foundation, sending the organization a notice of commencement of dissolution before proceedings this 31st of October. This resolution is the preliminary step before the ministry, through the state attorney's office, submits the same documents to the judicial authorities to initiate the legal process of dissolution. The document, to which El País has access, argues that the foundation's aims violates democratic memory law. This is because it clashes with legislation on foundations, as it does not pursue aims of general interest and carries out activities contrary to that interest. That's what fascism is. General interest. No, it's what I think, what I want to happen. Furthermore, it is alleged that the foundation glorifies Francoism and humiliates the dignity of his victims. The foundation now has 10 days to submit its arguments. Sources within the ministry describe the dissolution process as unprecedented and maintain that it will alleviate the harm done to hundreds of people, victims of Francoism. It should not be forgotten about the foundation as such receives tax benefits. Spaniards should not have to pay for these anti-democratic activities, the government sources stated. I agree. Why the hell did they get money to begin with? This recent step by the executive to extinguish the Francisco Franco Foundation is the last of a long road which began with the Democratic Memory Law of 22, the organic law that regulates the right of association and which, since then, allows the outlawing of entities and foundations that make apologies from Francoism. Hello, we all agree that it was bullshit, and that people died from it. You're not allowed to exist, sorry. Just like if somebody wanted to run their entire government manifesto on, we should just kill each other. That wouldn't be allowed either, okay? So I don't want people screaming, free press, free speech, I thought Europe was supposed to be a free place, blah, 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 blah,
right?
Yeah. As soon as you start giving the people who want to destroy you and kill your entire family free speech, well, you've basically just killed your family. To initiate this investigation, the Ministry of Culture commissioned 2 reports last year from the Registry of Foundations and the State Secretariat for Democratic Memory, SEMD. The latter studied all the context of the Foundation's website. It's approximately 5,500 texts that you can read on their website, dedicated to the exaltation and glorification of the coup d'etat, the dictatorship, and its leaders, as well as the media coverage of the foundation between the 1st of January 2018 and March 25. This content is revealing. For example, there are texts that claim Francoism did not commit genocide, the Second Republic did, that deny the events that occurred during the bombing of Guernica during the Civil War, or assert the stolen children scandal is a lie. There are articles that reek of propaganda using terms like uprising instead of coup d'etat or crusade instead of civil war. The Secretariat reports also include interviews with victims of the Franco regime, in which it is evident how the Foundation's denial of violence and repression harms them and undermines their right to the truth. The testimonies describe several such situations. For example, one victim encountered a group of those people singing Cara al Sol, the Phalangist anthem, in a Granada square, which caused him an episode of physical and psychological distress. One of the accounts reads, "Every time I see any of their activities or statements in the media, my heart sinks. My breath catches and I'm unable to speak. At the moment, the story of my uncle's disappearance comes flooding back to me." Another concludes, "Every time I read a manifesto, a statement signed by this foundation in defense of Francoist values and the dictatorship, I don't feel a physical attack, of course, but it stirs up all the memories I have of my childhood. Without my father, his absence due to a cruel and senseless war." The study underscores that the content published by the Foundation discredits victims, denies and minimizes the facts, and presents a biased version of history where Franco did nothing wrong. The analysis of the approximately 5,500 texts published on its website leads to the conclusion that the Foundation aims and actions do not pursue the public interest, as they are incompatible with many of those cited in Article 3.1 of the Foundation's law, the document states. The law states that a cause for dissolution will exist when foundations do not pursue aims of general interest or carry out activities contrary to it. For these purposes, the general interest is considered to be the glorification of Francoism that praises the coup d'etat and the dictatorship or exalts its leaders, with contempt and humiliation of the dignity of the victims. Those guys were losers. They deserve to lose their family and die in the Civil War. Okay, dude, you're banned. Yeah, you're done.
They'd be dead by now anyway, right?
Yeah.
That's always a good one. That's it.
It also doesn't allow direct or indirect incitement to hatred or violence against them because of their status as such. So, you don't like Franco? I'm gonna beat you up. The SEMD study also underlines that the aims of promoting and developing education, research, and any other cultural activities provided by the Foundation are in reality instruments to provide an unequivocally positive view of Francoism. Hey, would you like some brainwashing? Free brainwashing! That's what the Franco Foundation does. Sources from the ministry have told this newspaper, El País, that they are studying possible precautionary measures that they will propose to the judge when the case reaches the courts, although they have not specified what those measures are. Another important issue concerns the Foundation's historical archive, which contains some 30,000 documents, 28,000 of which have been already digitized. Some of these belong to head of state, and therefore should be deposited in state-owned archives, and have a great historical and cultural value. For this reason, the ministry has told El País that they are studying how to ensure their public protection. The Francisco Franco Foundation was established in 1976, and its statutes stated that it would be primarily dedicated to disseminating the human and political dimension of Francisco Franco. So, understanding the mind behind the madness that killed people. Promoting and conducting studies on Franco's thinking, on the achievements of the years of his rule, contributing to the projection of his ideology on the future of Spanish life, and exalting his life as a model of virtues placed on the service of the homeland. These statutes have undergone modifications in recent years, the last one in 2017, where the previous article reduces the purpose of the Foundation to disseminate and promote the study and knowledge about the life, thought, legacy, and work of Francisco Franco Bahamonde and his human, military, and political dimension, as well as about the achievements of the years of his mandate as head of the Spanish state, Captain General and Generalissimo of the armies. Basically, they politically corrected it, right? Oh yeah, we're not doing brainwashing and propaganda. We're just historians trying to understand the mind of the madness. But when they look at the actual articles and stuff they write on their website, it is actually just saying everyone should love Franco. Everyone should want to be like him. Let's have another civil war. I mean, crusade, right?
Right on.
Let's uprise against the government, huh? Wink,
fascist propaganda.
Yeah, exactly.
Fascist propaganda. Remember the old days where we used to shoot liberals? Hey!
In addition to remoting the study and knowledge of the state that governed the destinies of Spain between the years 1936 and 1977, the organization's annual accounts for 2018 and 22 submitted to the State Protectorate of Foundations show that, on average, the largest expense between €100,000 and €150,000 are for publishing its newsletter and holding events. This is followed by maintenance of its archives, averaging between €30,000 and €50,000. As for profits from the sale of photocopies, books, DVDs, and merchandise, the average ranges from $44,000 to $9,000. Wow, they've got Franco merch in here. Local scumbag merch now. Pablo de Grief, formal UN Special Rapporteur on the promotion of truth, justice, and reparation, and guarantees of non-recurrence, and a current UN High Commissioner for Ukraine, has consistently denounced the Franco Foundation as an anomaly in Europe. Grief, who prepared a report on Spain in 2014, points out that nothing similar exists in any other EU country. He cited examples such as if there was a foundation dedicated to glorifying the lives of dictators like Hitler and Mussolini. Those do not exist. Only Spain, for some reason, had a foundation dedicated to their local fascist murderer. Nor is there any legislation that permits the incitement of hatred. So there's your long story. It was my longest story, but I wanted to talk about it and how Spain is doing what a lot of countries are too scared to do, right? Oh, they're going to yell free speech. Well, this isn't free speech. We're telling you to go kill people you don't like and, have a coup d'etat against the government, and Franco did nothing wrong. That's complete rewriting of facts, of history, and everything. So that's not just free speech. That's lying. That's lying to people.
It's
giving them a false narrative.
Propaganda. False narrative. Okay, it reminds me of a song, Spanish Bombs by the only band that matters, The Clash. And it's kind of a history, and it is a history lesson because Joe Strummer was an intelligent human being. Mm-hmm. Actually, he was a son of a diplomat, so he grew up in a lot of different countries. And the first verse goes: Spanish songs in Andalusia, the shooting sights in the days of '39. Oh please leave the bandana open. Federico Lorca is dead and gone. Bullet holes in the cemetery walls. The black cars of the Guardia Civil. Spanish bombs on the Costa Rica. I'm flying in on DC-10 tonight. Guardia Civil is the civilian guard, the police, right? And Federico Lorca was a liberal poet who was executed in 1936 for being a liberal. So there's your song. Absolutely 100% applies. Because it's talking about Spanish Civil War, which is when Franco, suppressed all opposition.
Yeah. Just that's why you always have to be worried when people start saying, "Oh, I'm gonna put the opposition in jail. I'm gonna start killing the opposition," and also saying, right, the opposition. So people with opposite political leanings than you are a threat to the country, not to the government, to the country, and that's not how that works, right? Having different opinions is important for having a balanced argument, but when one side starts saying the other side of the argument isn't allowed, that's going into totalitarianism.
Federico Garcia Lorca was killed for his left-wing political sympathies and for being homosexual. That's what the biography says. So yes, he was an opponent of the Spanish Civil War. At the start of the Spanish Civil War, he was assassinated by what do we call it? The Guardia Civil. There you go. The Guardia Civil, the civilian police, took care of them. All right, let's roll
our segue for this day, our final day of October.
Rocktober, I did send you video. You got it. I think it finally loaded for me too.
And also
October 31st.
This day in history as well. Let's roll the segue first.
Let's do it. Yeah, it's day in Rocktober.
Where's my segue? There it is.
We didn't include St. Louis in our Rocktober cities, but it's very important to include Chuck Berry.
Okay.
Who is from St. Louis.
Haiku. I'll write you
St.
like
Louis.
4 haikus for all the things you talk about this whole section.
We're going to talk about Chuck Berry, 1952, an unknown. I guess I could I don't know why my fonts aren't automatically this big, but we'll make them bigger. Okay, pianist Johnny Johnson, on this day in 1952, hired Chuck Berry to be his guitar player, and basically that was one of your key events in rock and roll. Berry kept his while playing evening gigs in the St. Louis area. Berry kept his day job as a hairdresser for the next 3 years. So Chuck Berry, that's why he always had great hair. 1962, the Monster Mash ruled the airwaves. Yes, become the most popular Halloween song of all time. They did the mash. Bobby Boris Pickett. They don't even give him the props for recording it. Thanks a lot. 1963, Jerry and the Pacemakers, who hold the title of being the other band from Liverpool. They ruled the UK singles charts with "You'll Never Walk Alone," which is really held up for Liverpool because that's what their football fans sing after every game. The song remains perennially, and I just said that. The song remains perennially at number one in Anfield, the home ground for Liverpool Football Club. The Beatles returned to London in 1963, that same day that Jerry and the Pacemakers was knocking them off the charts. Returned to London for Sweden and greeted by hundreds of screaming fans and mob of photographers and journalists. Ed Sullivan was at Heathrow as the Beatles arrived and was struck with the sight of Beatlemania in full swing. He decided to lock into getting his group and appear on his television program. 1964, also a year later on this day, the Supremes started a 4-week number one in the U.S. singles charts with Baby Love. Baby Love, my baby love. We love Motown. Starting to hit the charts. The group's second of 5 consecutive U.S. number ones, making them the first Motown act with 2 number one hits. 1967, Iggy and the Stooges. You want to talk the beginning of punk rock? We're going to talk about Iggy and the Stooges, and we left them on. We're talking about Michigan and Detroit. Iggy and the Stooges made their live debut. They played at a Halloween party in Michigan. During this early period, the Stooges were originally billed as the Psychedelic Stooges and had a very different sound from the way they eventually developed. It was much more than avant-garde and experimental, with pop incorporating such household objects as a vacuum cleaner and a blender into intense walls of feedback that one observer described as sounding like an airplane was landing in the room. Yay! Led Zeppelin 3 started a 4-week run at number one in the U.S. album charts in 1970. 1974, Led Zeppelin held the UK launch for its next record, Swan Song, in Kent, England. That's nice. 1975, Queen released 50 years ago. Released Bohemian Rhapsody. It was written by Freddie Mercury.
I saw this on my culture news. It was like, let's celebrate 50, 5 different covers of Bohemian Rhapsody for its 50th anniversary. I'm like, I'm not going to read a list. We did that yesterday. I'm not going to read another list.
Speaking of songs that don't need a cover, stop covering this song. Anyway,
karaoke song. We won the Applebee's karaoke prize.
You can cover "Don't Stop Believing" or something like that all you want, but don't. I mean, let's do a cover of what's the other one? "Stairway to Heaven," right? Now the best cover of Bohemian Rhapsody actually is the one at the Green Day concert. Have you seen that one? Which I guess they do it at every Green Day concert because the music that's playing before the band comes on and everybody's singing along with it. That's a great video of it anyway. There might be probably several. Anyway, there's 1988, Soundgarden issued their full-length debut album, Ultra Mega OK, on SST Records. Soundgarden was in them. We're only going to sign with the indie label. We're Seattle, damn it. We're not these corporate bastards. 1990, one more thing. This is a very strange little incident that I have never heard of, but during a gig in Seattle, Billy Idol dumped 600 dead fish in Faith No More's dressing room. Good place to look for fish. They responded by walking on stage naked during Idol's set. The Los Angeles Times reported when the payback came, Idol grinned widely as the naked men cavorted on stage in a conga line wearing only masks or t-shirts over their heads. So I guess they were having good fun. Halloween prank. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, man. Non-violent protest. I think you guys stink. Here's some fish. Anyway, In 1994, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant released their live album No Quarter, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, unleaded. It features a mix of new songs, Led Zeppelin classics. Of course, you're not Led Zeppelin with John Bonham. Don't even pretend you are. It's over. Once you lost John Bonham, you could call yourself Squeaky in the Squeak Tones, and nobody would care because it's not Led Zeppelin. Pretend. Anyway, there's your stories of Rocktober. Let's do National Day, or this day in history. That I've dragged this out way too far. It is a news dump after all. Of course. That's our last October. That's our last Rocktober.
Woohoo! End of October.
End of October, the last. You just clap that. The last day, so October 31st, on this day in 1632, Dutch painter Johannes Vermeer, whose paintings are amongst the most beloved and revered image in the history of art, was baptized. Not even born, he was baptized. He was 26 when we don't even know when he was born, just when he was baptized. 1860, Juliette Gordon Low, founder of the Girl Scouts of the United States of America, was born in Savannah, Georgia. 1864, Nevada became the 36th state of the United States. Why? Carson City. That's why there's gold in our hills. That's why. 1887, soldier and statesman Chiang Kai-shek, head of the nationalist government of China from 1928 to 1949, and subsequently head of the Chinese nationalist government in exile, Taiwan, was born in Taiwan, or Chinese Taipei, as they call them in Little League World Series. They don't want to offend the Chinese. Oh, Chinese Taipei, that's what we'll call them. Anyway, Chiang Kai-shek, the famous nationalist government, the guy who left mainland China, got run out of the country, started his own country in Formosa. 1922, Benito Mussolini, speaking of fascists, we're talking about Franco, here's your original fascist, became Prime Minister of Italy 103 years ago. He was the first of Europe's fascist dictators of the 20th century. Walked around with a number 1 on his hat. That's what he was, number 1 fascist. 1926, Harry Houdini died. Yeah, he got punched in the stomach. The magician and
I think every 31st of October we get angry about this. Yeah.
Died of peritonitis stemming from a stomach injury. Famous Wisconsinite from Appleton, Wisconsin. Again, he used to go around daring people to punch him in the stomach, and he wasn't ready for this clown. The clown just hit him when he was unexpected, which is... Yeah, he got a really bad internal bleeding, got an infection, died. 1941, after 15 years of work, the Mount Rushmore National Memorial in the Black Hills of South Dakota was completed. Don't think it's actually completed. They keep saying that. I don't think it's been completed. It doesn't look completed. It sure don't look completed. The colossal sculpture features the heads were completed. I guess you can say it that way. I think he was going to do more. Anyway, that happened in 1941. 1962, an American psychological thriller, What Happened to Baby Jane. A late career triumph for both Betty Davis and Joan Crawford was released in American theaters. Good for them. 1968, Lyndon B. Johnson ordered an end to American bombing in North Vietnam. He said, that's enough. And of course, Nixon just decided, you know what? Let's bomb North Vietnam, and then let's bomb Cambodia and Laos too. Because... Henry Kissinger and Nixon just love killing people. That was their thing, man. Some people are addicted to gambling. They just like watching people get blown up. 2008, the American author and oral historian Studs Terkel died in Chicago. If you want to watch an archive of interviews that have been saved, he was a radio personality in Chicago, and he interviewed everybody famous, like all through the 60s. You want anybody, and he didn't care. His politics were left-wing, so he had everybody on there. Like, you want an interview with the Black Panther, he's got it, right? So Studs Terkel, look up his archives, a great historical archive of radio interviews. Anyway, he chronicled the lives of Americans from the Great Depression to the 21st century. He died in 2008. Rest in peace, Studs Terkel. The Scottish-born Sean Connery passed on this day at the age of 90, who was perhaps best known for portraying as super spy James Bond in a series of films. Died at the age of 90, so James Bond died at this age. And 5 years ago. Today also is Halloween. We know this already. Celebrated this day as served largely as a secular holiday. It is the eve of All Saints' Day, also a religious holiday among some Christians. Just some of them. Why wouldn't it be all of them? It's either a religion or it's not, man. 1517, Luther. Hey, Martin Luther. That's right. The guy who got really famous because of the printing press being invented around the same time. According to tradition, Martin Luther, this day in 1517, posted on the church door in Wittenberg, Germany, his 95 Theses, a manifesto that turned into protests about the indulgence scandal in the Protestant Reformation. He was completely and totally right. But again, when religions get a hold of stuff, when they get a hold of a doctrine, they can't hold on to it. They can't let go of it. So Luther's teachings or whatever his 90 things turned into about, 70 million religions on their own, right? Well, I tell you what, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a Catholic, I tells you. Is what everybody says in their mind, right? I believe in the same bullshit, but a different version, in other words. That's the way I see it. I mean, religion to me, it's like, okay, you got a secret pal. You got a secret pal you like. That's great, man. Don't try to get me to understand it. I don't care. I got a secret pal, too. But at least mine is like, I got a name and he's in the room. And I ain't trying to force him on anybody else. Me, right? Right? Yeah, he agrees. Other than this day, Indira Gandhi's birthday, wait a minute. Nope, not her birthday. It's the day she was assassinated. November 9th, or at least died from assassination. November 19th, 1917, she was the Prime Minister of India. She died October 31st, 1984, at the age of 66 in Delhi. She was born in Prayagraj, India. Other birthdays today. Did Chiang Kai-shek, Jimmy Savile. Yeah, we're going to remember pedophile Jimmy Savile on this day, British entertainer. He's born 99 today. Dan Rather turning, oh my goodness, Dan Rather is in his 90s. I had no idea. Dan Rather turning 94 today. Long live Dan Rather. Man after the truth. Michael Landon's birthday, former actor, American actor, director, and producer, Highway to Heaven, Little House on the Prairie, Bonanza. He was in 3 long-running series. He was born in, this is his 89th birthday. Peter Jackson, director of Lord of the Rings, among other, and The Hobbit, born 1961. And our National Day calendar, yippee yahoo, we're getting to the end of this eventually. Right, don't you worry, it'll end. The longest segment of your life will eventually end as I try to scroll down and my computer
now
says
that I've been
you are
cutting
not
every segment into different ones, you can see how long this day in history is.
Today's National Day, it's Halloween, we know that's National Caramel Apple Day. Bobbing for apples used to be a Halloween thing. I don't know if that even exists anymore. Ever go bobbing for apples? It's a fun little game.
Yeah.
Hands behind your
your
back and
face
get apples
in
in a
that
barrel.
water.
Yeah. Some contaminated water with other people's saliva. Oh, yes. National Knock Knock Joke Day. Knock knock, who's there? It's trick or treat, dumbass. Oh, okay. National Magic Day today, so it's time to disappear so those kids don't knock at your door. Girl Scout Founders Day. Girl Scout Founders Day, we got into that earlier. We were talking about birthdays. National Breadstick Day. Breadsticks. Food. It's National Frankenstein Friday. It's Frankenstein Friday coinciding with Halloween. I think we have cross-pollination going on here. We have cross-pollination between Frankenstein and Halloween. So wear your Frankenstein costume, and for you ugly bastages out there, you don't need a costume. National Doorbell Day. Again, the thing with the doorbells and the knocking and the doorbells. It's all the same thing. It's all about Halloween. All this crap is about Halloween. Every one of these is related to Halloween, except for Girl Scout Founders and breadsticks. So I'm giving up breadsticks for Halloween today, just because I don't want to break with tradition. It's October 31st, 2025 on Before Breadsticks.
Woohoo! Breadsticks! Put some garlic on that to save yourself from some vampires, huh? I've got 4 haikus for you. So get ready. This is the first one. 50 years have flown. Galileo's echo rise. Queen's legacy shines.
What?
In Wittenberg's reign, 95 bold truths proclaimed. Fate's door flung open. for Luther, who, you can be against religion, but at least he let people be able to read that religion instead of listening to that guy on the pedestal tell you what it says. Also,
some guy's sitting around going, wait, I don't have to listen to everything bullshit that comes to me.
Yeah, I can read it myself and figure out what it means to me. Exactly. Happy birthday, Pete. In Middle Earth, tales unfold, visions, magic glows. And then finally, in shadows he waits. Mary's tale of life and death, Frankenstein endures. So happy Frankenstein Day. Celebrate the... Frankenstein was Friday. The scientist. By the way, everyone always has to say that. Frankenstein was a scientist, not the monster.
Well, must point out it's Frankenstein Friday, so you got to have that alliteration in there. And it's not just Frankenstein Day, it's Frankenstein Friday. So it's the only one of the year, unlike Taco Tuesday, which happens every week. All right, so we're going to have, I guess I'm done with whatever the hell I was doing. All right, then, let's have the
Let's see if there's any international days first, before we do any of that, on our thing, because there's going to be a long weekend. Today is World Cities Day. There's nothing on... Oh, well, maybe there's something on the November 1st and 2nd. It's just a different calendar. Okay, there's something on the 2nd, too. Today is World Cities Day. So let's celebrate cities. Yeah! Those are the places where a lot of people live. And, I mean, there's always those people who say, what is it? A lot of people move to cities to get jobs, right? That's why they go there. The UN is celebrating cities.
You can take the
urban environment.
You can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. Is that what they say?
Yeah, something like that. So celebrate urban development. There's people out there who are making sure the city actually works instead of it just being a bunch of houses stacked on top of each other or something. There's streets, there's lights, there's traffic control, there's smart cities. Somebody built a shopping center you can go to. They made it so that you can walk to places instead of getting hit by a car, like if you're in a highway. So celebrate urban development, cities, and those congested and full places where humans learn and thrive.
Let's convert that unused office space and commercial property into housing for people that can't afford it, because all that vacant office space is pissing me off. You got homeless people in vacant commercial properties. It makes no sense. Every city's like this.
Yeah.
Right. Who needs a traditional office anymore? So all these giant buildings get just vacancies, but they're not going to rent the tenants. Oh no, we're going to have tenants. Actual tenants, not business tenants. Well, they don't. They're empty buildings, a lot of them. Nobody's living there because they're commercial. All right, sorry about that. That's my solution.
Also, it is on Sunday, International Day of End of Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. That's right. Those people go out there, sometimes dangerous places, sometimes undercover, to find out the truth of what's going on. And what do they get in return? They get their lives threatened. Right? Some people try to kill them.
200 journalists were killed.
Kill them.
Over 200 journalists. Over 200 journalists killed by our Israeli defense forces.
Yeah.
Supposedly the good guys. Supposedly the good guys.
So make sure that you enforce the rights of journalists. You support journalists, and of course, you don't let them get murdered for just trying to find the truth, man. Trying to find the truth.
Fascists in this country are locking up journalists already and pepper spraying them and shooting them with rubber bullets.
Yeah. And of course, today is the last day
for
of
being
our
reporters.
International.
Not anything else.
What was it again? One of the days.
A lot of things.
I think it was the media. Today is the last day of Global Media Information Literacy Week, which is something we try to attest to ourselves here on the show. Right, trying to get that literacy up.
We're not the stupid person's podcast, because stupid people will go, how come he's not angry and picking a side? I do pick a side. Yeah.
At least I think you've seen our comments. They are...
Sometimes.
They're just trolls mostly, honestly. We get a lot of troll comments. Because people don't want to use their media literacy. They just want to, pick a side, black and white it, and go, you're against me, I hate you, and that's the end, right? That's the...
Trolls. Yeah,
no more discussions necessary.
Trolls with holes.
Yep.
Trolls with holes. They got pie holes, and it's all they know how to do is fucking criticize people because they never done anything on their own. So... basically, no life accomplishments. If you're on the internet trolling somebody, it's because you're a loser, essentially. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong, you're a loser. Okay, sorry.
Anyways, let's get ready for our mic drop. This has been Allison here from the Netherlands, Roger from the East Coast of the US. As we finish off Friday News Dump, I hope you understand everything that's going on. You've been given that information. You know what's happening this week. What's happened this week, and you'll have a good weekend. Have a good Halloween if you celebrate it, and we'll see you on Monday. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, turn on the notifications, know when we go live. Support us on Patreon for a little $1 a month. We'll see you there. Here is our mic drop moment.
Hopefully the sound syncs up here this time. It's got a little bit of an intro. This is called the Short-Term Memory Loss Blues.
When you get to a certain stage in life, a certain critical junction.
Yes.
When you get to a certain age in life, things start to malfunction.
You should have dressed as this guy.
Your list of ailments
for Halloween
begins to grow. Your reflexes begin to slow.
I have to shave my head, man. Uh-huh. He's going slower.
What was the next note? Oh, yeah, that one.
What's the first thing to go? I got the short-term memory loss blues.
I know this.
The short-term memory loss blues.
Where was I doing again? Oh yeah, right.
Anything. Da 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 sing. The short-term memory loss blues.
I love how this is a Christmas thing, by the way, which totally pulls into the whole idea of, right, it's Halloween, so it's Christmas now. After today, it's Christmas.
Right.
Now where the hell did I put my keys? And where the hell did I put my keys?
Yep. Oh my.
Whoops. That's more long-term memory, though, I would say. Object permanence.
No, you just...
That's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up.
I do wonder if there's like a neurological condition for short-term memory. I'm sure a neuroscientist could tell me.
The bridge to another
I'm just listening. I hadn't heard this yet.
Short-term.
And I have short-term memory loss.
You just have ADHD, which I guess is part of that.
It's a bummer when your memory's shot. I'd sing the rest, but I forgot.
Good one, good rhyme.
Whatchamacallit? The short term. Don't tell me. Wait a minute. Memory loss. Yes, it's so coming back to me now. Those keys, I left them in the pants I took to the cleaners.
Though actually, funnily enough, when it comes to memory, music is one of the things you can't forget.
Which cleaners?
It's a very cerebral thing, so it's just almost written into your brain.
That was pretty funny.
Thank you very much.
Short-term memory blues.
Yeah, hopefully.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.
Or Sunday morning, because I get